So you started attracting girls. So you got onto self-improvement, right? You started, going to the gym, lifting dumbbells, reading, meditating, journaling, improving yourself, you're improving your character. You're actually becoming a better man, right? And you've been doing this for a while now. You've been doing this for, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You've been doing this for some time now, right? And you notice that, the girls in your class, right? The girls that you used to have like a massive crush on, the girls that you used to just obsess over, right? They now are actually becoming attractive. They are holding eye contact with you. They're approaching you. They're trying to sit next to you, right? They're showing you, all like the signs that they're into you, right? And the more you improve yourself, the more you keep getting better, the more you improve, the more sort of girls, you attract, right? The more girls are attracted to you, and the more girls are attracted to you, right? And it's basic biology, the more you improve yourself, the closer you get to the top man. And women are hypergamous. Women want the best man they can get in all areas, right? In fitness, in health, in knowledge, in books, in mental health, in personality, in status, how many friends you have. When you improve yourself in every single area of your life, like women will literally become obsessed with you. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, bro. It's just biology, right? It's just science, right? But here is the kicker, and this is probably like one of the biggest mistakes I've made on my self-improvement journey, and I really want you to learn from my mistake, right? A wise man learns from his mistakes. The wiser man learns from other people's mistakes. I want you to be the wiser man. I want you to be the wiser man who learns from others' mistakes. Learn from my mistake, bro, right? The thing is, the girls that are attracted to you right now, even though you think they're so pretty, you think they're so attractive, right? Like, even though you used to have like a massive crush on them, right? You used to just, literally be obsessed with them, right? And now they are becoming obsessed with you. They are becoming really attracted to you, right? And the girls you used to have a massive crush on. I'm telling you, bro, even though you think they're like the 10 out of 10s, like they're so attractive and they're like the most beautiful women on the planet, right? They ain't all that. What I mean by that is their values are not compatible with your values. They are not all that. Be honest, bro. Like, be honest. Like, these girls, they're not on your level. Let's be honest, man. And I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, right? No disrespect at all. But now, one of the biggest mistakes I made on my self-improvement journey is, when I started self-improvement, I kept getting, better, started, working out in my room, started reading how to influence people, started meditating, started improving myself. And I actually, like, pretty quickly started to notice that, girls are becoming, attracted to me, right? The girls in my class, right? The problem is I would just put so much time, so much energy, wasting so much time and energy on these, girls, because I used to have like massive crush on these girls, right? And it really took so much of, my mental bandwidth. It took so much of my energy. I used to waste so much time, trying to flirt with these girls, trying to, talk to them and whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit fun, but like, looking back, at it now, it's like, if we're being honest, these girls that you think are just so attractive and they're like the perfect 10 out of 10s, they vape, they eat junk food, let's be honest, they're losers, honestly, right? Like, if these were guys, right, if you just took like all of their beauty away, you would just think they're losers, right? You would just think like if they were guys, right? If they were, actual guys who vape, who ate junk food, who kept going out and drinking and whatever, you would think he's just a loser. But for some reason, when it's a girl, right? And she's like really pretty, and that's, you know, just us as men, you know, that's how we think, right? I'll actually tell you a story, right? So when I actually started self-improvement, I was 13 years old, right? And one of the reasons, right? One of the reasons I started self-improvement is I just wanted to be like attractive to girls, right? Because I used to have like these really big crushes on all these girls in my class, right? I just wanted to be really attractive to them. And yeah, you know, I was a horny kid, and it's whatever, right? And at the same time, you know, I was depressed. I was just sad. I was at like the lowest point of my entire life. So I started watching Hamza, Iman Gadzhi, you know, started watching, you know, self-improvement content like David Goggins, right? And I was, you know, working out in my room, right? I was reading How to Influence People. I was meditating for like 5 minutes a day, right? I was getting onto self-improvement. And over time, like after doing it for like 1 or 2 months, I noticed that I actually became very attractive to these girls. You know, they started holding eye contact with me. You know, they started sitting closer to me, approaching me, talking to me, you know, doing all these things, showing me all these signs that these girls actually like me, right? And of course, I was just like, yes, right, like, let's go. But then the problem is, I just became obsessed with these girls, you know. I just started, you know, kept talking to them all the time, thinking about them all the time, instead of thinking about myself, instead of thinking about my own self-improvement, my own growth, right? And those were really good years, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very glad that I had those years, even though I wasted, you know, some of my energy and some of my time, you know, talking to these girls. And especially, like, there was this one blonde girl in my class that I was just obsessed with. Like, I used to have a massive crush on this girl. I used to, like, think about her all the time, right? But those were good years, not gonna lie. Now, that was when I was 13. 3 years later, right, I'm 16. And it's the beginning of, you know, the new school year. And I'm with those same girls in class, and now I feel like I'm a way better version of myself, and I actually am, right? Even though I'm like at the very beginning of my journey, but I've read like probably over 100 books at this point. Like, these are just the books I show, but I've read like over 100 books. I've been working out for like 3 years now. I've been meditating for half an hour, journaling for half an hour, every single day, right? I've come a long way. Not to boast, not to say I'm the best, nothing. I'm still like nothing. I'm still in the beginning of my journey. And I'm just locked in on self-improvement, man. I've deleted all my social media. You know, I don't play video games. I don't do any of that. I don't even go out with friends or whatever. I'm just locked in, you know. And here's the thing. I see those same girls that I used to have like a massive crush on. I see them again, and I'm with them, you know, in class again. And I became like literally 100 times more attractive. Like, because I've been doing self-improvement for a very long time, for 3 years, right? And I see those same girls, and I see those, you know, same girls that I used to have a massive crush on, you know, 3 years ago, right? And I'm with them in class again. And I realized that I'm very different from them now. Like, I'm very different. I could just tell, like, you know, they've been going out, you know, they've been eating junk food, they've been on social media for like hours and hours, right? And I'm not judging anyone, I'm just, you know, sharing my experience. And this is all just to say that basically we have very different values, right? They're not compatible with me at all, and I'm not compatible with them at all. So that's really the lesson that I learned in my life, right? And I want to get across here is, you know, girls, they are one of the biggest fruits of your labor, right? Is that when you keep improving yourself as a young man or a man, like, girls will just become obsessed with you, They will become so attracted to you. They will desire you, right? And it's one of the biggest fruits of your labor. But here's the thing, like, the more you improve yourself, the higher the sort of, I hate to say this, like this is a bit disrespectful, but the sort of quality of women, or yeah, like the quality of women that you want goes up, right? So you know, bro, it's kind of like Bitcoin, right? If you've ever, you know, Bitcoin is kind of like this, you know, digital investment, right, that you have. But like, let's say if you have Bitcoin that's like worth $5,000, and you know, you wait a bit and now it's $8,000, and then you sell immediately. You know, everyone who just knows anything about investing would just say, no, you shouldn't do that, right? You should keep waiting until, you know, your Bitcoin, your coin is the highest it can ever be, right? And then you think about selling, right? So it's the same thing with you. Like, for men, the more you improve, the higher your SMV gets, and the older you are, the higher SMV. I heard this from Hamza, right, the other day, because he talked about the same exact thing. Is every 6 months of self-improvement, of improving yourself, you unlock like a new tier of women. I know this sounds like so weird, but it's so true. Like, every 6 months, you become exponentially more attractive to women. But I'm not even exaggerating. Like, if we think about this, like, from like the out of 10 scale, like every 6 months you become like a half. So right now, if you're like a 5 out of 10, right? I hate this, but for this example, right? If you're like a 5 out of 10, 6 months again of self-improvement, you become 5.5, and then a 6, and then a 6.5, and then a 7, and then, you know, 7.5. And the more you improve yourself, the more you keep improving yourself, the more women will desire you and obsess over you, but the higher quality the women will be, if that makes sense, right? And it's just basic biology, right? It's just basic biology, right? Women want the best man they can get, and the more you improve, the closer you get to that man, right? Women want a man who's improving himself in every single area of his life, right? It's just basic biology and evolution. Honestly, I'm gonna say it right now, like, until the age of 25, don't even worry about women. Don't even worry about them. Of course, you can talk to girls. You can talk to girls in your classroom, talk to them and the girls in your college. You can talk to girls anywhere, right? But what I'm saying is like serious dating and, you know, talking to these girls all the time. You shouldn't even worry about that until you're 25. Like, if you're not 25, all your focus, all your time and energy should be all of it focused on you becoming the best version of yourself. I think that's the best thing we should do as young men. Put all your time, put all your energy on you becoming the best version of yourself in every single area of your life. Don't even worry about women. Don't even worry about girls. Right? They were telling you, like, every 6 months of you improving yourself, you will unlock like a new tier of women, basically. I know this sounds so cringe, but it's true. You know, I've said this so many times, but I think a much better goal, you know, instead of focusing on how to make all the girls, you know, want you and be attracted to you, I think the better way we should think about it is, how do you become the best man for your future wife? And I think that's a way better way to think about it. And I'm working on this even now, right? It's hard, right? Because we as men, you know, we want multiple women, right? It's just, you know, our biological drive, right? But if you think about it really, like, analytically, like, the person you will spend the most time with by far, more than your friends, more than your parents, more than your brother, more than your sister, more than your co-workers, more than, you know, anyone, by far, combined, basically, is your future partner, is your future wife. You will spend more time with your future wife if you marry her for life, right? More than anyone, literally more than anyone, like, by far, right? So why not become the best man you can be for her, Instead of becoming the best man you can be for like the girls in your class or the girls in your college or the girls anywhere, right? Become the best man for your future wife. And I promise you, like, even though I'm giving this advice, I'm still working on this. I'm still in the very beginning of, you know, my journey, and I will always be a student. And to answer the question, what do you do when you start attracting girls? You lock in even harder on self-improvement. You lock in even harder on the thing that got you there. You go even harder on self-improvement, right? And like the biggest problem that I see, even though I'm nothing, like I'm literally nothing, I'm still in the very beginning of my journey, but you know, the biggest problem is, you know, I see all these guys, right? They're actually like locked in. They're locked in on self-improvement. They don't care about anything. They're focused, right? And they actually, like, girls actually, you know, desire them, and they're making a lot of money, and you know, they're becoming like very attractive men. But then they stop doing self-improvement completely, and they focus on the women. They focus on the money. They focus, you know, on the status, and of course, they decline rapidly, right? Like, I never understood that. Like, you're gonna stop the thing that got you all of these things, which is self-improvement, and you're gonna focus on the outcome. So yeah, like, we should focus, you know, on the thing that got us there, on the thing that, you know, got us the girls, the thing that got us, you know, the knowledge or the money or the status or the health or everything, which is self-improvement. You know, self-improvement literally gave me everything. And that's why I want every single person to get onto self-improvement. That's really like my dream, right? So yeah, like the best advice I can give you is lock in, go hard, you know, put all your time, put all your energy on self-improvement, on going to the gym, meditating, journaling, you know, boxing, doing martial arts, right? Improving your confidence, improve every single area of your life, and protect your heart. You know, the Bible says protect your heart over everything, because, you know, like I said, protect your heart, you know, save it for your future wife, for the best women that you can have. You know, that feminine, beautiful, nurturing, you know, housewife that you've always wanted. Save your heart for that woman. Save your heart for that woman. I don't know, like, who your future wife is, right? But save your heart for her. Because, bro, like, I'm being like genuinely honest. The girls around you will want to date you. They will want to be in a relationship with you, but you have to protect your heart. Like, if you don't want to get married, don't listen to anything I said, but if you actually want to marry like the best woman you could ever have, protect your heart and save it for that woman, right? And like, I know, like, sometimes there's like an outlier, like there's the girl who's actually like your future wife, who's actually like very, very wife quality, right? She's like a very high quality woman. If that's her, then date her, right? But like 99.999 times out of 0.0001 times, right? It's not that. It's the girls around you are very, very different from you, and they're very attracted to you, but they have very different values from your values. They're very different from you, you know. They scroll on social media, they eat junk food, you know, they post provocative pictures on social media. You don't want that. You don't want that in a future wife. So save your heart, you know, lock in on self-improvement and save your heart for your future wife. That's the lesson I learned recently, right? I learned very recently that I just wanted to get across. As always, we're in this together and we will make it.